Are two of the best strikers in Ligue 1, in fact, in Europe, about to head to the Premier League this summer. The transfer window opens in less than 3 weeks, and two players that are at the top of their game at the moment in front of goal are destined for the Premier League, if you read into reports. In this show and in this update on the transfers floating around the Premier League, I'm looking at two strikers that are destined for the Premier League and have got the capabilities and qualities to survive in the Premier League. Going up against some great strikers already in the Prem, could Jonathan David of Lille and Mason Greenwood of Marseille be about to join them? Now, of course, starting with Mason Greenwood, you've got to look at Mason Greenwood as the obvious won't have a problem in integrating quality-wise back into the Premier League. Where would he go? The problem with Mason Greenwood isn't his quality with his feet, isn't his quality on the pitch, handling certain situations, handling the atmosphere of big stadiums and the pressure of elite football. We know that Mason Greenwood has got all of the qualities under the sun. Now, obviously, 2 years away from the Premier League since his off-the-field antics got him into massive amounts of trouble, and Manchester United literally forced into selling Mason Greenwood to Marseille for 27 million. It is looking likely, according to all of these reports, that he wants back to England and feels in his mind that 2 years worth of water under the bridge is enough to make a return. I'm going to be quite honest and just say this bluntly right now. I don't think it is. And as soon as he steps foot back on English soil, if he is going to do that, he's a brave man and he is going to get stick and some. It really would be a very, very brave move, like I just said, for Mason Greenwood to come back into the Premier League. But this is the question: where would Mason Greenwood end up in the Premier League? And that's what I want to ask the comment section on this as well. He's got the qualities. Second leading goal scorer in Ligue 1, only behind Ousmane Dembele, who has had an absolute stormer with PSG looking for an unprecedented max-out trophy season and winning everything available. Already with the trophies in the bag from the Cups and the League, they're looking to complete that with that win over Inter Milan in the Champions League final. So, yes, he has performed well when you're talking about that sort of calibre of striker that he's up against. He has been an absolute breath of fresh air, and his goal at weekend pretty much confirmed Marseille are back in Champions League football. It's been an outstanding season for 27 million in that transfer from Manchester United. Now, the big thing about this is that Manchester United have got a 50% of the profit of any sell-on for Mason Greenwood. So this would be funding Manchester United's summer also. So, for instance, if Mason Greenwood was sold by Marseille for 47 million, they purchased him for 27 million from Manchester United, therefore making 20 million on top. 10 million of that, because it's 20 million profit on the sale that they paid Manchester United for him. 10 million up would go to Manchester United, i.e. 50% of that deal. So good for United, but it still poses the question, no matter what you do sum-wise, no matter what you do affordability-wise, which Premier League club is going to test the waters first? Who is going to go back into Mason Greenwood? He is an outstanding talent. Scores with his head, his left foot, his right foot, from outside the box, from inside the box. He's lightning quick, he's very strong. And like I said, the versatility of a forward like that is absolute gold dust. And it is a crying shame that he cannot be playing at the top level, because everybody's scared about the reaction that the fans will give, that the media will give. I just don't think England is the right place for him. And I think his advisors would earn their money if they actually told him not to do this. Just my own look on it. But you tell me, should Mason Greenwood come back to the Premier League? Should Man United take him back? That is a question for you. That would be a turn up for the Bucks. It's a completely different environment at Manchester United right now. New ownership, new running, new management system, new structure in place. Mason Greenwood would fit perfectly into a Ruben Amorim system in terms of that versatility and where he can play. But as an out-and-out 9 in that system, Mason Greenwood would be gold. Who else would take a punt on Mason Greenwood? Would Aston Villa take him? Worries about John Duran obviously leaving, Asensio and Marcus Rashford going back off loan. Ollie Watkins not happy with how he's been treated with his game time towards the back end of the season. Could they take him? Again, work out what you think works best. Tell me, is there one Premier League club that Mason Greenwood fits right now? And get into the comments on that. And by the way, 27 million was what Marseille paid Manchester United for Mason Greenwood. After this season, how much is Mason Greenwood actually worth? Well, there is one striker also alongside Mason Greenwood who goes by the name of Jonathan David, who is worth nothing. according to the transfer market, because it has officially been now announced today properly that Jonathan David will become a free agent at the end of this season. It's been announced by Lille. They cannot get the player to confirm a new deal, and it's been common knowledge for everybody for a long time now that Jonathan David is going to be leaving for a free in the summer. Where will he go? Is there a Premier League club out there willing to take Jonathan David on? The only snag with Jonathan David, and this is a minor snag, is his wage structure. Obviously, the wage structure of a player who has waited it out and waited till the end of his contract, not taking more money from that club, is that he is going to get that bumper deal when he moves for free, because the club that are buying him are not buying him. They're taking him for exactly that, nothing. So Jonathan David is going to want big wages. Is there a club committed to that? I look at the likes of Liverpool, perfect. Manchester United, absolutely ideal for Jonathan David. A team like Newcastle, with their financial fair play situation, not being able to spend a lot and wanting another quality striker in who can play off the front man in 10 and in 9. He's a versatile one as well. I think that works out perfect for Newcastle. And again, Aston Villa, Chelsea, all needing strikers. And you're looking at Arsenal. I don't know why Arsenal wouldn't look at Jonathan David, but they look like they're deep down into negotiations with Victor Gyökeres now. So, yeah, Jonathan David is the other one. Again, fantastic season, improving season after season after season in Liga. And on the international stage as well. Has been a big part of the success story for qualifying for the World Cup for Canada again. And I think he's ready for the next move. He's ready for a big change. And the Premier League is obviously the pinnacle when it comes to competing at the highest level. The best strikers on the planet are literally in the Premier League. Where does Jonathan David go? Is it as obvious as Manchester United because we desperately need a striker? We haven't got a lot of money to spend, and he's a free agent. There will be a sign-on fee, there will be agents' fees, and there will be that big wage. Reportedly above the 200 grand a week mark for Jonathan David. So who is going to take him on? I'm sure there are plenty of Premier League clubs within that top 10 that can afford Jonathan David. So it'll be interesting to see who actually comes into the reckoning to sign Jonathan David as well. And who has got the better chance out of both of them strikers? Let me know in the comment section, please, everybody. On top of that, Manchester City are the other significant news makers in the speculation columns today around transfers, with that move for Florian Wirtz. Apparently, Pep Guardiola and Manchester City have spoken to his parents. This is how you go now about making a transfer happen. You get into the family and you convince them that he is going to be happy in Manchester and it is the right place for him to move. And check this out. A fee in excess of £100 million is what it is going to take for Florian Wirtz to move from Bayer Leverkusen. Can City get this deal done now? Because if they don't get it done now, maybe into next summer there will be more fish in that pond looking at that bait, which is Florian Wirtz, to help them, and City may have a bit more competition. I think City hold a strong position right now simply because Jack Grealish is probably going to go. We know that Kevin De Bruyne is leaving. There is room at City, which is a scary thought considering how strong they still are, and then adding someone like Florian Wirtz. It is something that City have managed to do well over the last few years in terms of who replaces Fernandinho. Well, you go out and get Rodri. Who replaces Bernardo? Who replaces David Silva? You get Bernardo Silva. Who replaces Aguero? They went and got Haaland. Who replaces Vincent Kompany? They went and got Diaz. They are very good at replacing some of the bigger players in their squad that look like they're past it and are irreplaceable. And they've done it well. Is Florian Wirtz the next in line for Manchester City in replacing one of their legends, who is Kevin De Bruyne? It is big boots to fill. And 100+ million is a lot of money and a lot of pressure. So Pep Guardiola is going to have to go on a charm offensive for Florian Wirtz, definitely. But that's your roundup for everything that is going on today significantly in the Premier League around the transfer market, which is opening in, yes, less than 3 weeks now. It's getting juicy, it's getting tasty now. Get your comments in below. Who has got the better chance of coming to the Premier League, or is it both? Jonathan David, Mason Greenwood. Is it too much of a risk for Mason Greenwood to come back in? How much is he worth? And where do you think the perfect fit is for Jonathan David? They're the questions I'm asking. Get into the comment section. Give the video a like if you're loving the content. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are doing these updates, transfer daily updates now on Football Talks, so you don't want to miss out. Hit the subscribe button, bell notification alongside it, so you don't miss anything coming up. I'll see you all in the next video, everyone.